Hi, I'm George, and we'll be using pack.net to edit textures here in Minecraft, and we'll be taking this iron block right here and turning it into this rusty iron block. Now if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to click on share and subscribe as well. When you subscribe, hit that bell icon twice to get notifications of my new videos, and take a look at my channel for a bunch more Minecraft stuff. Okay, let's get to it. We'll be using pack.net to do the texture here for this rusted iron block. Okay, here is the pack.net program, and you find this at getpaint.net. It's right up here. The download button is actually right there. It says pack.net, and whatever the current version is right now, it's at 4.2.10. Or click on the download page right here, and you'll find it again right down below. Now, when you're on the download page, don't click on that. That's just an ad. Scroll down a little bit, and right here are the two download sites. One is from the Microsoft Store, and there's a little bit of a cost to that one. The second one here is at .png website, and this is a free download. We'll take a look at this one. Click on that. This will take you over to that page, that site here where it says pack.net. Again, do not click on that start right here. That's an ad. Ignore that. What you want is on the right-hand side over here where it says free download now, right up there. You want that one right there. Click on that, and then save that onto your hard drive someplace to get the pack.net. Okay, let's now take a look at how you find the textures in Minecraft. We'll get that part set up. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to find the file that contains the textures. Now the easy way to do that is just to open up any drive window like this, and then type in %appdata% right there, and that takes you into the roaming folder, and you want the top one here should say Minecraft. Ignore these two. These are two test folders I have for the beta versions. So look for the .minecraft right there, and then open that up. In here, way down at the bottom of this big long list, it'll say versions right there. Open that up, and that's where all the different versions that have been installed on your computer are sitting in here. We're working in 1.152, which is that right there. Notice there's these pre-versions in here. That's earlier stuff. We want the 1.152. That's the most recent version. Everything else is beta versions and other things like that. Okay, we'll open this one up. Ignore the JSON. You want the .jar. If you're not seeing the .jar, go up to the View menu and make sure that File Name Extensions is checked right there. Without that, you don't see anything. You want to have that one checked right here. You can then see the .jar, and that's the file that you want. Now, right-click on that file and choose Copy. Okay, we now need to go back to a location on the hard drive. It can be any location you want. I recommend setting up a folder for this one. I'll go ahead and I'll take over to a folder that I've set up ahead of time for this. Here we go. I just made a folder called pack.net video. It can be any folder you want, any place you want. One thing you don't want to do is to open this up on your desktop. Make sure you do not do that. That's going to mess up your computer. So make a folder. Doesn't matter what it is or where it is. Just make a folder, and then it's right-click and paste, and we'll bring that jar file in here. Now we need to open this jar file up. This contains everything that we need. It contains all the textures and everything else. To open this thing up, you can use any unzip program you want. It's just a zip file, actually. So any unzip program will work out just fine. You can use the Windows unzip. You can use 7-zip. You can use WinRAR. Anything at all. It doesn't really matter. Just right-click. I'll use 7-zip right here. And what I normally like to do is just to extract files. Now what this will do is it will put this stuff into another folder with that name. So I have this one and then a separate folder. That just gives me a little bit of flexibility in the future. So 7-zip, and we'll extract files right there. Choose OK. Okay, so now go inside of this folder right here, and there's all this junk in here. The very top one says Assets, and there's a lot of other stuff. Now just click on the link here below Assets. Click on that one. Scroll clear to the bottom, way down there, hold the Shift key down, click on the bottom one, and then just hit the Delete key and delete all of that stuff. We don't need any of that. All we need is just that Assets folder. And there it is, nicely cleaned up. Okay, go inside the Assets folder, and we don't need this and we don't need that. So let's just select both of those, hit the Delete key, and get those out of the way. There we go. Go inside the Minecraft folder. In here, all we need is the textures folder right down there. Everything else can go away. So I'll select all of that, hit the Delete key, and lose all of that stuff. There it is. Now inside of textures, here's where all of your different textures are. We have the block, color map, effect, entity, a lot of other stuff. Right now all we care about is what's inside a block, so everything else here can go away. I'll just choose all these things. I'll leave entity on there just in case I want to change something in that one, but everything else can just be deleted. There we go. That's all bye-bye. Okay, so inside a block, here's all of your blocks inside of the game. Now, these are pretty small images. They're just 16 by 16, real small. Inside of entity, this is all the characters and creatures and things. There's your bear. Banners are here. There's the chest. These are things that have more than one look to them. There you go, different chests in here. Down below these folders are some things with only just one look. Like there's the Endermite, down here's shield base right there. There's the snow golem. With the very, very bottom of this thing down here, here's our zombie pigmen right there. Now zombies themselves have their own folder right here. There's zombies, different kinds of zombies in there. So that's everything in those two folders, and that's pretty much everything you're going to want to be changing anyway. So we'll keep just those two folders. Okay, this is another reason why I saved this jar file. This has everything in it. We've now cleaned out this to have just the things that we want to work on right now. So just in case for whatever reason in the future you want to go back and do something else, you'll still have it inside of that jar file. Okay, back inside here. Now along with the assets, we also need two other files in here. One is the pack.mcmeta file, and the other one is just an icon file called pack.png. Now I have both of those up. Let me bring up another folder here. There it is. There's the pack.mcmeta, and there's my pack.png. I'm just copy those over. I'll right click and just drag those over by right clicking and copy. Do that one, and then right click and drag and copy for that one as well. Okay. Now all the pack.png is simply a 256 by 256 PNG file. That's all it is. The picture can be anything you want. Doesn't matter. I happen to have myself there walking on Mars. So that's the pack.png. And the pack.mcmeta, this is very important, has just a little bit of code in here. It has to be done exactly right. Since we're in version 1.15 right now, this number right here needs to be 5. Earlier versions had different numbers. The description right here is simply whatever you want this to show inside of the list of resource packs inside of Minecraft. You have two things that show up. One is that name right here. Other one is that icon file right there. Now to make this real easy, you can download this from my website, and there's a link for doing that in the description. But I'll leave it up here just for a second. You can just freeze frame and copy that. But again, it has to be exactly right if you copy it, so it's better just to download this from my site and make it real simple for you. I'll actually have this whole resource pack downloadable, and that'll be inside of that resource pack. Okay, so we're all set to go now. We can go ahead now and edit the assets. Go into Minecraft, textures, into block. And if I scroll down a little bit here, we'll come down to the iron block is that one right there. It's iron_block.png. We'll be working on that file. Okay, I'll go ahead now and bring up the paint.net program, and let's take a look at editing this texture. Okay, here we are inside of paint.net, and I've already opened up that iron file, and you can see it's right there real small on the screen. These are really, really small files. So the first thing I'll need to do is to zoom in on that thing. I'll grab the zoom tool, which is right here. Let's just click on that and zoom in. There we go. Now you can see the pixel setting in here. It's 16 by 16. It's fairly small, not that much detail. Now for a nice texture, you want to have a little bit more detail. I don't like putting in too much detail right now, and I think just one step is all you have to do. So it's the first thing we'll do is we'll increase the detail on this. Go up to the image menu right here and come down to resize. And right now it has a width of 16 and a height of 16. Let's just double that. Easy way is just to go here by percentage and type in 200%. That makes that 32 by 32 and choose OK. And there we go. We'll need to back out just a little bit, and that's the right mouse button. Click that a couple of times. And one more time. There we go. So there it is. We now have twice as many squares to work with, which gives us more detail. It's not too much. It'll still look good with the rest of the picture, with the rest of the Minecraft program, but it's going to have a nice bit of additional detail to it. So that's our first step. Let's now put some coloration on here. We'll do this in just a few steps. First, I'm going to make a new layer. It's over here on the layers panel right there. Come down to the bottom left-hand corner, and there's our new layer. This little checkerboard pattern, this just means that this is transparent. If you see that transparency, that's what we're looking at. And then over here on the colors, I'll choose a brown. That's kind of a nice brown color right here. It's kind of medium brown. Second row down, 4 over. And then grab that paint bucket right here. Make sure you're on our new layer 2. Then just click any place in there that will fill that with that brown color. Okay, I'll go back up here to the move tool. Now double click on this layer. That brings up the layer properties, and we're going to be changing the blend mode right down here. There are lots of options in here. If I just use the wheel on my mouse, I can roll through and see all kinds of different blends. Lots of possibilities in here. A lot of fun stuff happening. Now what we'll be doing is just coming in and doing a little bit of a change on this, just a little bit of an overlay. It just adds kind of a brown tone to the overall image like that. Okay, so far so good. Now I want to be changing some of the pixels in here. Just come down here where it says background. We're going to make a duplicate of this one layer here. So go up to layers, and you can come down to duplicate layer right there. There it is. I'll just hide that background. We no longer need that. That's just kind of in here just as a safety at this point. We can now paint on this layer, and I won't mess up the original. Go back over to the colors panel right down here, and where it says more, click on that. That just expands the whole thing a little ways. And what I want is just to grab one of these dark grays right there. That's a good one. Let's go to the pencil tool right there. Now the pencil is going to be giving us solid colors. All I want to do here is just make an outline right around in here, kind of inside of that outer border, that 2-line outer border. Just pull it clear down to the bottom here. We'll clear along the left-hand side like this, and then go straight up and clear back up to the top again. Notice how the pencil just fills in each one of those squares as you go. There's no bleed off into anything else. Okay, now let's put some just outside lines in here. It doesn't really matter where you start. I'm just going to go 2 up right here, and then I'll count over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do 1 there. And just continue to clear around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 more. And about that same space around. These don't have to be exact. You can be off by 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter. So I'll just go down and about that far apart each time. We'll put in just a couple of lines. And they can be a little rough at times too. That's fine. That just adds in some variation on this. Makes it a bit more interesting of a pattern. And this is just to give us kind of a breakup of the outer area here. Looks pretty good. Now let's go back down here. I'm going to lighten this up by 1 spot, a little lighter gray right there, and come back in, and on some of these, click on that outer one, just a few. You don't have to do everything, just kind of click around the outer one. That makes those just a little bit lighter. And let's move up 1 gray shade even lighter here, and just do a few more of those. Just go back and click on just a few. This is just putting in some variation. And then come around and just do a few in here, just randomly around. Sometimes 2, sometimes 1, just kind of a random bit of dots in there. There we go. Okay, so there's the basic layout. I now want to put down a nice random pattern over this whole thing, and we'll do that by opening up another file, just a texture file, and then applying that onto this. Now I have one that's already set to go here. It's open recent, and I have this texture that I found online. It's this one here called steampunk texture. I just did a search on Google for images for steampunk texture, and I found this thing. We won't be having this look. I'll be using just kind of a piece of this. Let's double click. That selects the whole thing. Go up to edit, come down to copy. Let's now go back over here. This is the original file right there. That's the new one. There's the original. And then here, go up to the top layer and make a new layer above that layer. There we go, new layer. And then edit, paste. So here's edit and paste. Now where it says expand canvas or keep canvas size, you want to keep the canvas size. The canvas size is this image in behind here. We want to keep this, and we'll only be using just a little piece of this texture underneath. So keep canvas size, and it comes in like that. We're really zoomed in on just a part of that texture. I think this is actually one of those dots in there, so that's perfect. Now I want to blend this into the stuff underneath. So double click where it says layer 4 here, and let's change this blend mode to darken, and that's right down there. Kind of see things through. We're looking pretty good. Come down to the brown level right here, double click on this one, and let's bring the opacity down just a bit so you can see a bit more of that texture in behind. It's in there somewhere, and that's looking pretty good. And there's our nice texture. Now you can adjust the values any way you want to. You can adjust your colors, whatever you feel like doing. But this is the basic texturized, kind of a rusted effect in here. Okay, now that we have this, we're going to save this out in a format that can be used inside of Minecraft. Now note that this is 32 by 32 and the Minecraft is 16 by 16, which is about quarter that size. Don't worry about that. Minecraft automatically fits this onto the right sized object. So I'll first save this one, File, and Save. Notice that we're inside of our block folder right now, same folder we had before. We're inside the block folder, and it is now saving this as a PDN file. That's the paint.net file format. That's fine. And that saves the layers and everything else in here, so you can go back and you can change this in the future if you want to. Now, Minecraft will ignore that .pdn file, so you can go ahead and save these in the same folder as your textures. There's no problem with that. We now need to export this out as the standard PNG file format. So go up to File, come back to Save As right here, and change the format here to PNG. There's all your textures. It still has the correct name down here, iron_block.png. Choose Save. It'll ask us to overwrite the existing file. We want to do that. Choose Yes, and then choose OK. Now it needs to flatten. What it's going to be doing here is merging these 4 layers together to make one layer and then saving it at that point. That's fine to do because we've already saved this as the paint.net format file as was. We can always go back to that one to use later. So click on Flatten, and now we're all done. That's all that we need to do here inside of paint.net. Let's now switch back over and we'll finish up our resource pack, the texture pack, and then put that into Minecraft and see how it works. And here we go. There is that new texture right here. Notice that it is bigger than the original size. So we've made our image larger, but it's going to fit on the block. Don't worry about that. Here is the paint.net version saved in here. Minecraft will ignore that, so we can always go back to that and change the texture in the future if you want to. If you're not really happy with that, that's okay. Let's now back out of this, back to Assets. Now, I have another texture pack that has the spacesuit that I wear in my videos, and that's inside of the entity. So let me just go ahead and fix that. You don't want to have anything in here that you've already changed someplace else. So I'm just going to delete the entity folder. I'm not going to be using this. All I care about is that block folder up here. So I'll just right click and delete. I'll get rid of that. So I'm just leaving in just the block folder, which has all the blocks, and of course that also includes that one that we just changed, which is right there. There it is. Okay. Now go back to our base folder right here. This is where we first put this and did our first cleaning out, where we put in the pack.mcmeta and the pack.png file. Let's now zip all these 3 together. Just select those, right click. Now I'll be doing this first in 7-zip. I'll show you how to do this in 7-zip. Come down here and click to Add to Archive. Now in 7-zip, where it says Archive Format right there, this is the most important part of the step. Come down and make sure that says .zip right there. And then let's just change the name up here. I'll just call it Steampunk -2, choose OK, then it zips that up. Let me show you how to do this now if you're using WinRAR instead. I'll again select all 3 of those, right click. I have WinRAR right down here. I'll come down to Add to Archive, and then once again the most important step is right here where it says Archive Format. Make sure that says zip, and then I'll change the name up here. I'll call this one Steampunk-3 and choose OK. They're exactly the same thing aside from the name, so either program works for zipping this up. Okay, now we need to get this file over into Minecraft. So I'll bring Minecraft back up again. Okay, here we are inside Minecraft, and there is the regular iron block right there. Looks good. Hit the Escape key, take this into the game menu, and come down here to Options, and then click on Resource Packs. Now we need to get that new Steampunk pack over here on the left-hand side. And to do that, we need to copy it from where we made it over into the Resource Pack folder, and that's easy to do. Come down here to the Resource Pack folder, click on that, and there's that folder. This is what's showing over here on the left-hand side. This also includes the things that are over on the right-hand side as well. See, here's the window pane. That's right there. There's my spacesuit. That's right here. So it includes all of my custom resource packs. Okay, let's now just minimize Minecraft, get that out of the way. So this side is the resource packs for Minecraft. This side is the ones we just made. All you need to do is just copy it from here and place it over here. I like to copy and not just drag and drop, just in case I want to go back and change this in the future. Having an extra copy doesn't hurt. So I'll go over here, I'll right click and copy. There it is. Back over to the resource pack folder, right click and paste. There it is. Now to get our new resource pack showing over here, we have to back out 1 step. So click on Done, then go back into Resource Packs, and now it's showing over here. Okay, click on that arrow. That brings it over here to the right-hand side. Notice that I have several resource packs in here, and they are stacked up like this. What happens in Minecraft is it reads the top resource pack set first. It then goes to the next one for anything that's missing, and the next one for anything that's missing in that, and then down to the default for anything else that is missing as well. So it fills it in from the top to the bottom. Your resource packs above take precedence over the ones down below. And that's why you can have a resource pack in here that only has just a few things in it. It's all you need. My spacesuit resource pack just has the 1 spacesuit image, 1 texture right there. That's all that contains. This one contains all of our different textures for the blocks, but it also contains that one changed block. Okay, so there it is. Click on Done. Once this is reread that resource pack, click on Done again, back to the game, and there we go. There's our changed block, and there's our nice rusted looking iron block. That's how you can change your textures very easily by using that nice free paint.net program. Okay, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to click on share and subscribe as well. And to learn a lot more about Minecraft, take a look at my other videos on my channel, and I'll see you next time.